Dismal. Boris slated by experts as UK's poor performance on world stage that makes it smaller player. Boris Johnson and the UK government's inflexibility is hampering Britain's ability to strike post-Brexit trade deals, an international trade expert has said. The government's approach is preventing it from capitalising on post-Brexit trade opportunities, such as a trade deal with the United States, according to a professor of economics at the University of Sussex. Professor Michael Gaziorak, a specialist in international trade, said that the UK hasn't done itself any favours on the international stage since Brexit. Professor Gaziorak said, "We are a smaller player on the world stage than we were before. That does not mean that countries don't want to do deals with the UK, but it does mean that the UK has a diminished influence into that economic environment. I don't think the current government has done itself any favours on the international stage in terms of the way it behaves." Speaking about the issues in Northern Ireland, he said, "They do need resolving, and the UK is, I think, being fairly inflexible in the way it wants to resolve those. And that's not playing out well on the international stage, in particular with the United States." Professor Gaziorak added, "At the early stages, before Biden came into power, certainly the Johnson government and Liz Truss were touting a US-UK free trade agreement as being top priority. But that's shifted very low down the agenda, not on the UK's side but because America has made it quite clear that they're not interested at this point." In her role as Foreign Secretary, and previously Secretary of State for International Trade, Liz Truss has played a pivotal role in the UK's trade deal negotiations. She has since been thrust into negotiations with the EU after taking on Lord Frost's responsibilities, following his resignation from his role as Brexit Minister last week. The Northern Ireland Protocol was agreed as part of the withdrawal agreement to avoid a hard border in Ireland after the UK left the EU. But because Northern Ireland remained within the EU's single market for goods, a border was effectively created between Great Britain and Northern Ireland down the Irish Sea. The protocol has come under fire because of border checks on goods moving between Great Britain and Northern Ireland, which have resulted in delays and supermarket shortages. While Boris Johnson's standing within the Conservative Party has faltered in recent weeks, Liz Truss's stock has risen. At the end of a torrid week that included the North Shropshire by-election defeat and the bruising resignation of Brexit Minister David Frost, one Tory MP jokingly texted, "In Liz we trust." The recently appointed Foreign Secretary, 46, is now seen as one of the frontrunners to succeed Johnson, along with Rishi Sunak. Is she the answer to the Conservatives' problems? Truss's rise has confounded those more familiar with her quirky public persona and strong opinions on cheese imports. The South West Norfolk MP, who was elected in 2010, was written off as a joke by many due to an unfortunate Conservative conference speech in 2014, when she was Environment Secretary. In December, "I'll be in Beijing, opening up new pork markets," she told the room with a grin, clearly expecting applause, which came, but a little too late, and accompanied by laughter. "We import 2/3 of our cheese," she went on. "That is a disgrace." The speech went viral and became a meme, and Truss was left with a reputation as an unserious politician. Her political fortunes went from bad to worse in her next role, as Justice Secretary, when Truss suffered a major rift with the judiciary over her refusal to criticise the Daily Mail for a headline that described members of the judiciary as enemies of the people. But following her demotion to the role of Chief Secretary to the Treasury, Truss made a conscious decision to be more authentically herself, taking unlikely inspiration from Jeremy Corbyn. Truss would complain to her aides when they drafted remarks criticising Corbyn for being ideological, telling them that the only good thing about Corbyn was that he had a clear ideology. She became the May government's most outspoken advocate of free markets, while using her social media profiles to display eccentricity and humour at a time when morale in the Conservative Party was low.